every artist, every actor, actress, every musician, their goal in North Korea is to glorifying Kim dictatorship. And like, talk to me about the free speech. It is literally, when you look at the magazine corner in America, I see like, wow, this is what they meant by freedom of speech. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today in this video, I am going to talk about top 5 culture shock that I experienced as a North Korean living in the USA. Number 1, celebrity culture. In North Korea, we are not allowed to like worship or adore anyone other than Kim dictators. So I didn't even know the word fan meant in North Korea. I remember was after escaping to China and then South Korea and to America, there are so many magazines I see in the grocery stores talking about celebrity who got married to whom, who got divorced to whom, and what they were in this these ceremonies. I mean, in North Korea, I did have the characters that I liked in the movies, in the certain shows, but I wasn't even allowed to know who their actual names were. Because there's no internet, so I cannot go see the Wikipedia when they were born, who they are married to, or what they like, or none of that. There's never seen a celebrity interviews on TV. They were not the subject of us to worship. Every artist, every actor, actress, every musician, their goal in North Korea is to glorifying Kim dictatorship. So they were not the subject for normal people to adore. We did say like, oh, I like this character in this movie, but it wasn't like to the point there's a fan club and people writing things to them and talking about them even publicly. So this was like a huge culture shock for me coming to America, where people are obsessed with the celebrities. People, like Michael Jackson, I remember they were like telling me, how can you not even know who Michael Jackson is? It's like I had no clue. I had a fortune to go to a Met Gala one day, and then there was some really tall guy standing in front of me, so I wasn't able to see the performer. That time was Katy Perry. So I was like, who is this person? Is so tall that I cannot see the person, and the person like next to me is like, you don't know who Tom Brady is? Like, no, I don't know. And that was like, they were so shocked that I did not know who Tom Brady was. And fortunately, I was able to learn like few celebrities who are so huge, like Justin Bieber, George Clooney. A friend of mine, she was really big fan of George Clooney, but I still have no idea how many celebrities are here in America and what they do. So I think this is almost like a freedom that we don't think of, but the freedom that we have to worship anyone that we want, or admire anyone that we want, to me is so shocking and also so empowering, that everyone can be the subject of adoration and admiration of other people. And in North Korea, people do not have that freedom to, admire anyone. And that is so sad to me. Like, whenever I meet people say that, oh, I was inspired by, Alexander Hamilton, I was inspired by Lincoln, the President Lincoln, and so many other people. But in North Korea, you can never say that. Only you have to be inspired of one family, that is Kim dictators. And here, so many people inspire me, and I can adore them, I can worship them however way I want. And this is something that I truly appreciate. Number 2, Americans' obsessions with magazines. So this is almost related to previous subject. I was talking about the celebrity culture. I remember one day when I came to America, the first place I went was after the airport, was going to Walmart. And there was this huge section of magazines. I couldn't believe. In North Korea, I did hear the word magazine, but never that many types of magazine. There were a cook magazine, health magazine, beauty magazine, living room. man, there's a countless of magazine types. And like talk to me about the free speech. It is literally when you look at the magazine corner in America, I see like, wow, this is what they meant by freedom of speech. Later, I learned even though magazine called Playboy, right? And I was so shocked. Like, I was like asking the person, so you guys literally in America have a magazine for that purpose? There's no judgment here. People here have the freedom to, write about anything and talk about anything. Sadly, in North Korea, I never seen a cook magazine because, that's a luxury when you talk about recipe. I hear things from my American friends like, oh, this is like my grandma's recipe, but I really like you. I'm gonna share with you how to make this pasta or cookies. And in North Korea, I never ever, I cooked as a child. That's all we do as a child in North Korea. But, like following a recipe is a luxury. We don't have like 1 tablespoon of vinegar and sugar, honey, butter, olive oil, like seasoning, all of that. We just eat whatever we have at that time, and there's no way of following us to all those fancy recipes. And that's when I felt like this is a prosperity. That's why people are obsessed with the recipes and with the cookbooks. And also it is about the fashion magazines. We never was allowed to what we could wear. The regime told us, what kind of, like skirt we can wear, what kind of shirt we can wear, what kind of haircut we can have. And they, of course, accessories like this are banned. So, seeing that magazine was really clearly teaching me this is freedom, that this is how many ways that people are free in America, and also how many ways that people are not free in North Korea. And I think that's what that's why I enjoy just looking at the magazine corner wherever I go, like Walmart or Target or airport. So number 3, that is Americans' obsessions with hero movies. I am such a big fan of more like older times of movies in America, like Dead Poet Society, Life is Beautiful, or more like really back in old days, like Pianist. Those are like top my 3 favorite movies. And now whenever I go to movie theaters, I see just so many hero movies. Whatever the world is that heroes have, Americans are obsessed with this, like Wonder Woman, Spider-Man. How many men are there? So like I remember people telling me like, oh, I didn't get the kids were wearing this like Spider-Man clothes in the beginning, and they were like wearing this like Disney, like all these movies, and they were like so shocked that I didn't know what Spider-Man was. And like that, this is like I have to understand that culture side now, but in a way it felt so strange to me why like every movie has these heroes and saving humanity, and like one guy bravely saving humanity from some kind of evil, try to destroy all the good people. And every holiday movie felt like having a same story and narrative. And at some point it's like, there's no really point for me to go to movies now. It's like they are just different actors, different some visual clothes, and they're all talking about the same thing. And yeah, I became less fan of Hollywood movies later, and especially a lot of now Hollywood movies are so, in my opinion, so shallow and dumb. So yeah, it is something that I want to really see improvement in America. It's hard for me to say the North Korean saying American movies are dumb, the Korean movies, but so that's where. Let's move on to number 4. It's like a club culture in America. So in North Korea, I never ever heard a thing called strip club. I had never been to one yet, so I'm saving it for. I'm not sure I'm ready for it yet, but I'm sure someday maybe I will go. And I don't even know how to go where it is. It still like scares me a little bit. And in North Korea, there are no clubs. I mean, I heard there is a club for the foreigners when they visit North Korea, but not for average people. There's never such a thing like you can say, oh, I met my girlfriend at a club, or some guy, taking me out at the bar. There's no culture of clubbing or bar or any of that. In North Korea, they think of this clubbing culture as some like corrupt capitalist thing, and the honorable communists do not do it. But I mean, in reality, I think there are way more abuse against women and sexual minority in North Korea than here, because there's protection. So that's why I don't think of this clubbing is a bad thing, because as long as you know how to control yourself and not let that taking over your whole life, it is also a way of expressing yourself. I still don't know how to dance that well, but in North Korea, we were never allowed to move our bodies freely. We had to follow very strict rule of following each dance move. But here, people, you can do popping, hip hop. I mean, like ballroom dancing, so many different dancing and ways to express your feelings. And I think that's why, I felt it was wonderful that Americans had a place to go, release their stress, and, enjoy life. Number 5, writing cards. So these cards including thanking cards, birthday cards, Valentine cards. I mean, so many different cards, like engagement, wedding, so many cards. It's like, I felt like it was almost an obsession with the cards in America. Like whenever you go Target or Whole Foods, anywhere, you see this huge corner of cards. I never seen that in North Korea. First of all, in North Korea, the mailing system has completely failed. So in the past, I heard my mother generation, once she wrote a letter and then put in the post box, it did deliver. But nowadays, that thing system whole failed. So even writing cards in my time wasn't something allowed, or like we were afford to do. So that's why I keep saying like North Korean's timelines always going backwards. But here, I almost feel like literally some people just like buying these beautiful cards for really few bucks, right? And then all they do is like signing in a few words like, oh, love, Yeonmi, and that's it. And I still don't know the full effect and the full meaning of giving a card to somebody. In the beginning, coming from such a poor country, I thought that was such a waste. But I guess it's okay to be a little bit wasteful, because we don't have to be all poor. So that was just shocking for me too. See, they are buying this something so beautiful, and all they do is like writing few words. And I was like thinking back then, like, you have message, you have a call, you can just say, you don't have to buy this card and waste it that way. But I mean, I guess it's like, way some kind of culture that America still has. But in North Korea, that communication tools are so blocked that people were not even allowed to express those little even gratitude to each other. And I guess because in North Korea, that we were now allowed to appreciate other people. Only thing that we were allowed to appreciate was, Kim dictators. So there was no such a culture and also a method for people to use to express their love and gratitude to other people. So even though I in the beginning thought that was a little bit wasteful, now I truly fully think that it's so beautiful to see, how much Americans are so grateful for each other and wanting to express that through these cards. And you can see how much effort this card companies, putting into to represent our feelings. Anyway, guys, that was my top 5 things that I had biggest culture shock with when I came to America. And I am so, continue to be just so touched by your openness for my, coming from North Korea. So many things that in my eyes are still very new and strange, and you don't judge me for that. And giving me this platform for me to open it and share this so publicly and not being afraid to be penalized. So stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye bye.